Joey, today's guest, Travis Smith, talks about how important it was in his journey to start investing with others and pooling cash to create deals. I want to ask you, as I was kind of reflecting on this interview, what was a deal that maybe you had presented to you at some point in time that you passed on because you didn't feel like you had enough money to invest in it individually?
Man, thinking back to that, be honest, I don't even know that I saw them as missed opportunities, because I had opportunities all the time when I was in the mortgage field and people were telling me about real estate deals. But I just always thought, oh, that's for somebody else. That's not even for me, because who has that kind of capital? Like literally, I didn't even think it was a deal for me.
That's interesting. I think there's probably a lot of us has that same opinion that we may not even be able to remember, or maybe the deals weren't even presented to us because the person or the persons who were trying to raise the money or had the deal didn't think we could take action on it. And I feel like that's the beauty of today's podcast is it is a journey for us to create, build wealth. It is a journey for us to create, build passive income. And along that journey, we come into contact with people that help us take one step further that we would have never known had we not interacted with them. And in this interview, Joey, I think it was just so eerily similar to your journey and my journey together. As we said, once we did start pooling cash together, once we did start doing deals, it was so cool to see how many deals started flowing our way. And I hope that as you listen to this podcast episode, you'll be encouraged to say, hey, I'm not the only one out there. I also have the ability to create a tribe and to start investing in deals that I hear not only from guests on the show, but on other shows and other groups I'm getting involved with, so that I too can participate on this journey. So Joey, let's not take any more out. Let's jump in right now with Travis Smith.
Welcome to the Wealth Without Wall Street podcast, your guide to understanding how to get out of the Wall Street rat race and start your own mailbox money lifestyle. Now, don't let these handsome Southern draws fool you. These financial minds are teaching our country to enhance savings, increase cash flow, and create passive income, all without the help of Wall Street. Are you ready to break through? Now here are your hosts, Russ Morgan and Joey Murray.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, you're in for a treat. You are going to be able to raise funds like you've never been able to raise funds with our guest, Travis Smith, in the house. Travis, so glad to have you, man.
Joey, Russ, thanks for having me. Been looking forward to this for a while. Great to be here.
Yeah, enjoy the offline conversation. I know it's going to be a fun one for our audience to be able to learn a little bit about you. So I want to take you kind of back to the origin story of Tribevest. You and your brothers go on a fishing trip. You're kind of reminiscent on opportunities maybe missed, and I'd love to kind of hear how that led to where we are today. So would you mind taking us back to that moment in time?
100%. Yeah, as you mentioned, my brothers and I, there's four of us. So my three brothers and I were on a fishing trip that we couldn't afford at the time. And this goes back almost 15 years during the Great Recession. And we had an opportunity to invest in a few deals, extremely personal to us, really good opportunities. And it hit us like a ton of bricks that, as well as we thought we were doing out there, we were, went to school, got the good job, we're making a good income. But when it came to capitalizing and taking, advantage of an opportunity that was presented to us, we didn't have the capital to act. And it absolutely just was frustrating beyond belief. And over a few beers and some fishing in the streams, we said, listen, things got to change. We're what we've been promised isn't going to work. We're never going to find financial freedom until we start to invest and take steps like the wealthy. And everybody we knew that was financially free was investing in real estate and private assets, having ownership. And that's when we had our aha. We said, listen, guys, we can't afford to enter on our own. So let's pull our capital and form a business entity, a tribe, if you will. And that's what we did. We pulled our capital, and by the end of the year, we had done our first deal, a passive investing real estate syndication deal. And then that turned into 2, that turned into 3. And before we knew it, we had realized that by forming and funding that investor tribe, we unlocked a future none of us could have dreamed of or achieved on our own. So we really found the power of the tribe.
That is so awesome, Travis. But before we get into like the nuts and bolts of Tribevest and what it means to like invest like this, you said something that I feel like needs a little bit more detail. You said we weren't going to get what we had been promised. And I have an assumption of what you meant by that, but could you put some more clothes on that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of your audience, what had society kind of told us if we took care of business, that, we would be fulfilled and on track. And that's that promise that we all kind of realized wasn't going to be the case. And we did. We were checking those boxes, right? We got accepted into a good school. In my case, Ohio State University. Actually got into finance because I came from a family that was highly educated, high earners, overachievers, but never always felt like we were kind of living month to month. And I just couldn't quite figure that out, in noticing those around us that had figured it out and maybe weren't making as much income as my family. And so that drove me to go into finance. I was recruited and trained by Morgan Stanley in New York City. So I wanted to go into financial advising. This is how motivated I was to do this. And then I realized that, that wasn't the place to really, if I wanted to truly help others become financially free and build wealth, being a financial advisor on Wall Street was not the way to do it.
Preach, man. Come on, preach on.
Yeah. I was selling products, right? I was selling mutual funds and, going out, acquiring clients and trying to figure out how do I get them into different financial products. Guys, you can imagine it didn't take long that I kind of had this is not what I signed up for. And then I was saved by software, went to work for a startup, got my first kind of taste of working in a small startup. I was employee number 36 of a financial tech company, and just an incredible experience. And really, that's where I've been the rest of my career, was in fintech before launching Tribevest. But along the way, guys, was making good money, going up the corporate ladder. And again, it really hit me when my brothers and I had this opportunity to buy a house that had been in our family for a long time and meant a ton to us. And the prior generation had to sell it, again, because of not being in a position of wealth. They were forced to kind of sell it. And here, the upcoming generation feeling like this is our job to take this investment, which was a really good opportunity anyway, but it also meant so much to us. And there we were, as successful as we thought we were. That's when it hit us that you're not in a place where you can control your own destiny. You're not in a place where you can take advantage of things like this. And that really hit me over the head. And that was when I realized that, hey, the course I was on was never going to add up to financially being free.
I love a lot of what you're saying. One, you use the term tribe, right? And I got a chance one time long ago to sit and listen to Simon Sinek, and he talked a little about the concept of tribe. And that's also been times the term we will refer to the Wealth Wall Street listener as tribe. And I love that term for so many reasons. One, a lot of times we make decisions as groups. And as you were saying a second ago, when you were on Wall Street and you're an advisor, as I used to be as well, people made decisions as what other people were doing. That's why mutual funds are so great at as products to be sold, because everyone else is doing it, right? Everybody else feels comfortable. Now, I know Robert Kiyosaki has a great say in there that says mutual funds have never been mutual in nature. They've always been one-sided against the consumer. But the people see that as comfort. They see that as safety, and they go in that way. But what you and your brothers organized and what you've created is a mentality of, okay, we can do what the select few are doing, but we can join together. We can join forces.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just, I think you're really hitting on something. If I could make the distinction, I think what's great about a mutual fund, that's more the herd mentality, right? Like everybody else is doing it, so it must be safe. And there's something there. But what we like to think about is the power of the community. And a community is a collaboration. It really is learning. And you guys know this better anyway. You guys are building a community that's so valuable to its members and in the world, a safe place to come and level up together. And so what the tribe represents is community, but bringing it down to an actionable entity where you can take that community knowledge, the sharing and the confidence, right? To maybe invest in something that you've never invested in, invest in a new sponsor, invest in a new asset type. All those things you can really come together on and learn together. And then when you get to being a tribe, going on that journey together to level up, experience together. And as you guys know, especially just being in real estate, and it's not something you read in a book. You can learn a lot from a mentor and a community, but it's not until you take those steps and to be able to learn together, to have that discipline, make decisions together and make mistakes together. The tribe just is so powerful. What an awesome strategy.
Well, I love what you're saying there, Travis, is you've mentioned the benefits of being in a tribe. It's the collective mindset. It's the collective of motivation. A lot of times it's sharing ideas and experience from other people who are maybe one step ahead of you, maybe one step behind you, but together you're all kind of making, strides together. What would you say, was there anything else you'd add to the list that by the end of that first year, you guys were able to take action? You were able to buy that first asset, which was totally different than the experience of, man, we can't buy this family home or whatever it may have been, lake home or beach home, whatever it was. And that stung. Now you were able to take action and you've seen a result. What else would you add to the list that by coming together as a tribe, you're able to do that?
Right. Yeah, I think, you nailed it. We missed that opportunity, to own that family house. But that was our motivation. We said that'll never happen again. And we knew that we had to take these steps in order to be in a position. So next time we had an opportunity like that, we would be able to strike. And I'm just proud to say that, years later, we went back and bought a family home that, of course, is an investment, short-term rental, but we also use it together. It's a space that we all come together and enjoy. But that was kind of a little bit of a celebration moment along the way. But it never happened until we started to realize how to be an investor. And I think like that was the big breakthrough for us. We didn't know what it meant to be an investor. Investor is not investing, buying low and selling high, right? It's getting on a wealth journey where you're buying and owning. You're an owner. When you're an owner, you have options, and when you have options, you have freedom. And we just never realized that until we became an investor. And then once that clicked for us, we were participating in this amazing country and, everything it has to offer. But, it was funny. The moment we became an investor, when it clicked for us, it wasn't when we made our first investment. It wasn't when we got our first cash flow dividend check. It was when we put our capital in to the tribe. So as soon as we put each of our capital in, we were an investor. And we hadn't invested in anything, but we had actually put capital that we knew was going to go towards an investment. And that changed everything for us. All of a sudden, deals started to kind of come around that were there the whole time, but we just didn't see them.
And I think that's a big point there, and that is a very distinctive difference between Wall Street and doing an investment yourself, right? I mean, you're going to get your nose bloody along the way, but it is a participatory sport, right? Like you are going to be active in that engagement, which along the way, right? Anytime we've done anything in life the first time, most likely we did not succeed, right? I mean, the first time we stood up, we fell down, right? I mean, there's so many lessons along the way. The worst thing that could happen to us is that we did something right the first time. I mean, our mentor used to say, the worst thing could happen to a person is they walk into a casino, put a quarter in a slot machine, pull the arm down, it spits out thousands of dollars. That creates a mindset that really could ruin you for life. But as you start doing, you start learning. And as you start learning, you start getting confident. Then you start grabbing and bringing other people into your tribe who have similar knowledges or experiences or even greater experience and knowledge that you didn't possess.
I just read this comment. It was so drawing joy. I wanted to share it. I realized that my time is not really mine. It's my company's. Now I have to stop negotiating my time for money, and I need to start working to become financially free.
That's exactly how I felt when my daughter Adler asked me on the way to school, Dad, can you pick me up from school today? And I had to say, no, baby, I have to go to work. That's where I drew the line.
In order for you to be clear on the things you need to do and stop doing, and to know who you need to become so that you can stop trading time for money, join us right now at wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/passport.
Now let's get back to this episode. Well, I feel like you missed the whole point, Russ, of what he just said. Respectfully, he said they became an investor when they pooled their capital, when they put capital into the business. What have you and I been saying forever is the biggest barrier to financial freedom is lack of access to cash. Why could you not buy the other house? We didn't have the capital, right? Now all of a sudden you've been putting money in. You've been amassing money together because the collective is more powerful than the individual, their own ability to save capital. And now all of a sudden opportunities started to find you. That's what, I'm not putting words in your mouth. That's what you said, right?
It was almost eerie. I think so. Both of you got both good, really great points. But Joey, I'm glad
mine is the best though. Be honest.
I'm glad you're coming back to this one.
Okay.
Because our platform, it scales, and we have people that are just getting started on their wealth journey. We have people that are 5 years into their wealth journey. We have people that are 20 years into their wealth journey. And so there's an application there for everybody, but we're most proud of kind of this leveling up. And for a lot of people in the middle class, and, we have these limiting beliefs that have held us back. And that moment when we put the capital in, and it clicked that we were an investor, really made all the difference. And you're right. It was all of a sudden we were out at the same social events, networking events. But we were saying, hey, I'm a partner in an investor group that invests in these types of things, right? And like as soon as I put that out to the universe or that networking event, however you want to look at it, all of a sudden I'm talking to this person about a deal right around the corner. I'm talking about this deal, across the country. I'm getting invited into masterminds of people that are coming together. So I don't know how to explain it, but Joey, you're right. I think that fact that we had the capital all of a sudden just opened up all sorts of things in a very practical way. Like, yeah, we can afford to make the transaction, but there was something else out there that was important to having that capital, knowing that we were players.
Well, you've made Joey's month by continuing to tell him that he is right. So this goes down as the number one episode Joey will listen to and replay to his family for at least the next year.
I love it.
All right. I don't want to miss the opportunity we have to share this software that you and your brothers were able to create that has made this happen, right? You had an idea, you found a way to do it, but ultimately you improved upon that idea by taking your fintech knowledge and building out software that not only allowed you guys to do it at scale, but ultimately allowed others to start building their own tribes. So talk to us about exactly what you guys built.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, you think, first my experience kind of was very helpful in launching Tribevest. I worked for a company called Jack Henry and Associates, where I was heading up their strategic alliances and enterprise payments. So helping people move payments easily. We partnered with companies like Acorns, if you're familiar with them, that ability to take Acorns out of your checking account and putting it into a brokerage account. Like those were the types of solutions we were out there bringing. And meanwhile, you can think about in parallel in my personal journey with my tribe, we're like, hey, we're putting in regular capital contributions, bigger chunks of capital contributions, but same idea. So when it came time to really start to put this together, my background and network in the banking industry was super valuable. But really what happened was we just kept getting more and more successful in our ventures and our investments. People started to notice and they said, wait a minute, how are you doing this? We told them the power of the tribe. And people said, wait a minute, I have people I know, like, and trust. We have shared, goals and dreams. Can you help us form an investor tribe too? And that's when it hit me that, man, if we were going to build something like this, how would we do it? And the answer is we had to go back and think about what would we do differently. And the answer to that is everything. Like we would do everything differently. We did everything wrong. And, did we need an attorney? How do we structure the operating agreement? How do you open up a business bank account? Do we need a LLC? What type of entity do we need? How do we keep everybody on the same page? How do we operate in compliance and how do we keep track of everybody's cap table and ownership? All those things we stumbled through and, it was terrible. It was terrible. We almost didn't make it. We persevered, thank goodness, because it changed our lives. But when that question was asked, could you help us form an investor tribe? We realized just how antiquated the process was. And so what we've gone out and built is a platform where the initiator, the founder, can come on, build a tribe plan. They can share that, socialize it with anybody they want. They can buy their tribe for $29 a month if purchased annually. We help you file your LLC in all 50 states or any of the 50 states. Within minutes of getting back your articles of organization, you have a FDIC insured business bank account, and you can onboard, assemble your members, set up how much capital everybody's putting in, and you can be ready to invest in less than 48 hours. So in less than 48 hours, you can come together with your tribe, form a multi-membered LLC entity, pull your capital with your members, and be transacting on a deal in 48 hours.
And so I want to press pause right there because I don't want this to get missed. What you're just saying is that all of the anxiety that we may have when we're trying to figure out who would we invest with, right? I mean, there's plenty of people that are listening to this podcast have said to themselves, had some of those same aha moments that you and your brothers had, is that I could do bigger deals, right? Like if we play the game cash flow, I could start moving out of the small deal pile into the big deal pile only if I had access to other people's money, right? And I know that there's other people out there who want to invest like me, but how would we do it? How would we set up that LLC? Is it an LLC? Whose name does who goes gets the bank account? Who files all of this? Is it going to be legal? Are we going to get in trouble with the FINRA or SEC? All those things that probably prevent most people from actually joining together. You said you've created, and within 48 hours, people could be transacting on the deals that they want to. Is that right?
Russ, you absolutely nailed it. And all those things you just said are the reason why people don't do this. Millions of people are talking about investing with other people, friends right now out there, but they when they go to do it, they realize, how do I do this? What about that? All these things. And I think antiquated is kind of a good way to describe it. And what Tribevest has done is, it's not rocket science. It's been done millions of times before. And there are best practices out there that should make this streamlined. And that's exactly what Tribevest does. It gives you the confidence to set it up easily, the right way, safely, and transparently. So, it's not rocket science. It's not like we invented group investing, but we did lay it out in a way that makes it super safe and easy and transparent.
When you say transparent, give some more detail behind that. Like when someone logs into the platform, how is it transparent?
This is our secret sauce. There's no one else out there that has created a collaborative investment platform. And so how do you keep it safe? How do you protect the relationships? Well, you make sure they set it up the right way and agree on all the rules up front, right? Once you've agreed on all the rules up front, once those what ifs do happen, it's unemotional. You just say, how did we say we were going to handle this when it happens? And so that's number one. And then two, just holding everybody accountable through transparency, a single dashboard where all members can log in. And you can think about how people used to do this in the old days. You would email out updates, might have a Google Drive, kind of tracking all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, questions come up, and there's mystery. And when there's mystery, that's when things don't go well. Well, now everybody just logs in, your documents, your history, all your banking information, all your investments, your cap table. It's all right there for everybody to see. So that transparency is really, it's transparent technology that has changed the way we transact. And just one more point, you think about Uber and Airbnb, right? What changed? What changed? A neutral third party technology made it easy to transact with people we didn't know, right? And so Tribevest is part of that. We're a neutral third party that just makes it really easy to do business, in this case, with people you probably know or have association with, or even are friends or family with.
We're living in a shared economy, as you said, using all of those tools. This is just one that makes sense for us as investors, so that we can invest with friends and family, so that we can do the deals that we see the elite doing. And I want to point you, Tribe, to the fact that this is something that each one of you should research. Not each one of you should do, but each one of you should research, because I feel like what Travis has created, he and his brothers, gives us an opportunity to accelerate the process to becoming financially free, right? Joey, you said it. Access to cash is usually the biggest obstacle we have to becoming financially free. But once we can start partnering with others, not only with just their money, but with their experiences, with their confidence, with their motivations, it allows us to accelerate faster to that 100% goal, to where our passive income equals and then hopefully exceeds our monthly expenses. So Travis, for our audience who wants to take action on this, where would you point them?
Yeah, come to tribevest.com and tribevest.com /partners/WWWS. And, come learn about Tribevest. And just to follow on about, what you were saying, I think, there's a number of different applications out here, and it's not it's invest individually or you should be investing together. Like there's a certain part of your portfolio or a certain part of your capital you should be investing with your tribe. Maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 10%, but that tribe will push you. We have tribes that, have experimental tribes, right? And they want to invest into new sponsors or new syndications, right? But they don't want to write a $100,000 check, but they would write a $25,000 check with 4 buddies to get in with a new sponsor, for example. We also have, ones that want to participate in every sponsor deal, right? So, they're not a sponsor, you can love them. They're not going to hit the grand slam every time, but so you want to invest in every deal that they do. So just this, ability to kind of diversify, spread your risk, and get into maybe a higher threshold that gets you a more, better deal on it. All those things are awesome applications for anybody on Tribevest.
All right, Tribe, you heard it here. We're just going to have to stick from here, Russ. I think the tribe is what we're going to call this from now on, and it just makes sense. But guys, this is how you take action. This is how you get to the next level. And by the way, Travis has agreed to join us in our inner circle and to provide some deeper training on this. So if you're not a part of that, you can get there, get access to it. We have a 7-day free trial even at go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com /free call. And one of our coaches can walk you through that. But Travis, it's been an amazing blessing to have you on the show. And thank you for bringing this knowledge to our tribe. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was an absolute blast. And I hope to join you guys at the passive income retreat as well. So
Yes.
Really trying to make that happen. But thanks again, guys. I appreciate the work you're doing out there. It's so important. And, keep charging.
Awesome. And thank you, as always, for listening. If you've found value today, please rate, review us so that we can be found by other people just like you, and share this with your tribe. As always, we appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next episode.
This has been the Wealth Without Wall Street podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the show to break free of the Wall Street mindset and begin building wealth on your own terms in places you understand, so that your wealth will never run dry. See you next episode.